Hello friends, in this tutorial you will learn how to create graphical user interface tables in Tkinter using the Tableview class from the TTK Bootstrap library. Now the original Tkinter library that is shipped with the Python installation does not have any classes for creating tables. So we are using something called as a TTK Bootstrap library, that is this particular one, to create beautiful looking tables that we can embed in our Tkinter program. So I'm going to show you an example of the program that we are going to build. So I will start up my IDE. This is Tony. You can also use other IDEs like the default one that is available on our Python installation. So I'll run this code. So this is the program that we'll be creating. We have a search buttons on the top that can be used to search the tables. And we have the table. It has 3 columns, one for name, other for age, and the other for email. And we also have the values populated into the table. Now we have 2 buttons at the bottom. One is called as add a row, other one is called as a delete a row. Both are used to add and delete rows into this particular table. So I'll show the add a row option. So if you press this particular button, a row will be added into the existing columns. So you can see the new John Doe has been added. So when you press one more time, another one is added. Now you can also delete it like this. So the top one will go and all the John Does are gone. You can also delete the other one also. So this is how you can add and delete the data from a table. Now you can also use the search function. This is the search functions. You can search for, let's say, Rachel, RA, press enter. It will show you this one. So in this tutorial we will learn how to build this one. So we also have a website. This is the website and this is the URL for that particular website. Now you can go to this one and check out the textual description of the tutorial also. So you also have the source codes which can be downloaded from the website. Just go under the contents source code section and you can download it from here as a zip file, or you can go to the GitHub and browse it. So this is our GitHub. So you can find it here also. So I have Python installed on our system. So you can fire up your command prompt and check for Python. So we have the Python here. Now we also have to make sure that TTK Bootstrap, which is an external library, that is installed with our Python installation. So normally it is not installed, so you have to install it. So if you don't have, you have to install it something like this: pip install TTK Bootstrap. So this will install the latest version. So nothing was installed because I already have it installed. So you can check it again if you want. Once the installation is complete, you can just check it whether this is properly installed or not. So as you can see, it's there. Now here we are going to create a simple TTK Bootstrap table and display some data on that one. So our aim is to create the most basic table so that people are aware about the syntax of creating the table. So the first thing we have to do is to import the TTK Bootstrap library as TTK. So make sure that the TTK Bootstrap library is installed on your system. Then we import the table view. So that is this particular line. Then we import the constants that are used for displaying the various parameters of the table. Then we create a symbol window using root equal to ttk.window and root.main loop. If you run this program, it will just create a symbol window. So now we have to create the column headers. So for that we have to create a list. So I'm going to give the list name. First we'll create a variable called column underscore headers for storing the name of the column. So we'll have 3 columns. Each will be named name, age, and email address. So we are going to create a list of these 3 variables, which we will then pass into our table. So then we have to create the row. So we have to create some data that will be given to the rows. So we create a symbol list here. Then we have to create a tuple that is this particular one within the brackets. Now the first parameter we want to display is the name. So we are going to use the term John Doe. Then we have to give the age. So we'll just give it as 26. That's an integer. And then we have to give another string that will be the email ID. So it will be John Doe So we will have one row, and this is the data that will be contained inside that particular row. So this is actually a tuple that is enclosed inside a list. So we have both the row and the column right now. Now we'll create the table. So we'll call it as data table, table view. That is the name of the class. So we have to give the required parameters inside this particular class. We have to connect our table to our window. For that, we have to give master equal to root. So master equal to root. Now after that, we have to give the column data and the row data. So for that, parameters are called as call data equal to. So we have to give the column. So in our case, we have named it as column address. So we'll keep this one here, comma. Then we have to give the row data. So that will be ROW. So we have to give the row data here. That will be this one. And that's it. That's the minimum things required to create a table. So we have to pack the data table. So we will put it here, something like that. Then we'll run the code. And I'll press F5. So we have the very basic table right here. So we have the name, that is the name of the column, and then the age, then the email address, and the name, the first row is there. So it's John Doe, and the age is 26, johndoe@email.com. And you can see that the color scheme is very different from what I have shown you. That is because we have not given any color string. So you can use the bootstrap equal to success or danger or any other parameters to create a unique color scheme. So you can add more rows if you want to. So I'll do that right now. Put a comma here. So I'm just going to name 1, 2 like that. Now you can see that more data is added into the column. Like we have John Doe 1, John Doe 2, John Doe 3 like that. So in this way we can add data into the column. Now I'll teach you how to make it look nice and to have a good padding and other stuff. You can also like and subscribe our YouTube channel. This would help us to create more videos like this. And you can also provide your suggestions in the comment box so that I can see what you want and what you don't want. So please do that. Now I have made a few changes to our program. Now I have added some real names and the corresponding agent email address so that we can use a proper human sounding names in our table. So if you run this program, we can see all the names. So you can scroll it something like this one. So you can see all the names. Now I have also added that some padding to the table. So pad x equal to 25 pixels and pad y equal to 25. That means that there is a small gap between the table and the edges of the window. So you can also increase the number. Let's say we increase it to 125. So now the gap will be very big, something like this one. So this is how the padding works. Now we are going to organize our data, that is the number of rows, into pages so that at a time only a few are displayed and you can scroll through them. I mean, you can move from one page to another. So for that we have to use the pagination option. Go to the table view class and inside that we have to set the page size. So page size is the number of entries that will be shown in a single page. So we'll make it 5. Now we have to give the pagination option equal to true. Now the rows will be organized into pages and each page will contain 5 entries and there will be multiple pages. So I'll run this one. So as you can see, the table is in the middle. That's because we have used the pad x equal to 125 and you can see that it's showing page equal to 1 of 3. So we have 15 entries. So there will be 3 pages and each one will contain 5 entries. So I can move from one page to another using these arrows. So corresponding page equal to 3, page equal to 1, you can see that. So this is how pagination works. Now we can also include a search bar to our table. So for that we have to give searchable equal to true. Now there will be a search bar also. So you can see we have a search bar here. So we can find Lily Coleman here. In this way you can search it. You can also give a really good color scheme to our table using the existing schemes. So you can use the boot style. So we'll go for boot style equal to. So now we are using the success theme of the boot style. So you can see the color change here, and you can also the danger one if you want to. So here I am using the danger one. So you can see the different style. Now let's say we run this code. Now here we can see that the width of the column is same for both name, age and email address. And as you can see that the age column does not require that much space. So here all the columns are having the same size. Now it is possible to adjust the size of this particular column by using the autofit parameter. So I'm going to use the autofit parameter right now. So you can just write it here, autofit equal to true. So this will dynamically adjust the width of each columns. So if the size of the characters in one particular column is small, it will have a smaller column. So now you can see from here that the size of the column has changed. The age column has actually decreased in size because we only have to display 2 numbers. So the column will take the size of the largest member in that particular column. If the size of the number on the age increases, the column width also increases. I'll actually show that right now. I'm going to make the first number quite big. So I'll just use this number. So the size is actually quite big. Now the column will dynamically adjust for that one. As you can see that the size of the column has changed to accommodate the large variable. So in this way, the size can be adjusted dynamically. So that's what the autofit parameter does. We can scale the size of the table by using this particular parameter. First, we will use the fill equal to both. That means that it will expand on both X and Y axis when we drag the window. And we can also provide the expand equal to yes. That means that the table has the option to expand. You have to put it inside the dot pack method, this one. Now you can change. Now I will run this one. So both has to be capital letter. Now you can pull it one. You can expand the window like this. Then the table also expand with it. So in this way, it will take the required space. So that is what this thing does. In the previous examples, we learned how to create a table using the ttkbootstrap library. Now here we will learn how to insert specific data into specific rows inside a particular table. Now during programming, we may need to dynamically update our table. So we cannot give the data beforehand. So in this particular section, we will learn how to dynamically update the table. Suppose you want to display data coming from a particular database or something like that, you have to dynamically update the tables. So here I will teach you how to do that. First of all, I'm going to clean a lot of these things. So I'm going to delete a lot of these things. These are required, but I just want to simplify the interface. So we can concentrate on the specific parts only. So you can remove this one. You require only call data, raw data, autofit equal to true. You can also use the other parameters, but I want to keep the interface clean. I'm also going to remove these two because we are not going to use this right now. Now autofit equal to true, and I have changed the raw data. Now it is John Doe 0, John Doe 1 like that, and the ages are from 0, 1, 2, 3. So when I run the program, it will look something like this one. So this is our program. So we have the name, age, email address, and the corresponding rows. The rows are actually numbered from 0, 1, 2, 3. So if you want to insert something into row 0, you have to give the index as 0. If you want to insert something into this row 1, that will be the second one, John Doe 1. You have to give the parameter as 1. Now we will learn how to do that. So first we have to create a new data. I mean the data that we want to insert into the table. So we'll call it that as row underscore inserted equal to. So we'll create a tuple. So we'll first give it a name. Let's call it Emily. Then she's 32. Then email address emily@mail.com. So this is the data that we are going to insert. Now we have to call in the method name of our table dot insert underscore row. So here row should be Tableview. Now we have to provide the index, that is the position at which we have to insert this particular row. So I'll call the index equal to 0. That means that it will be inserted into the first row, and then we have to give the data. So we have to give values equal to this particular tuple. So we will run this one. Now once the row is inserted, we have to use load underscore table underscore data. This is to update the table so that the new row is visible too. So I'll run the code right now. As you can see from here, Emily is inserted into the first row, Emily 32 emily@mail.com. Now if you don't use this particular one, data table dot load table underscore data, then that data will not be displayed. So I'm running the code right now. As you can see that it is inserted, but it's not displayed because that table is not refreshed. So always call this particular function after inserting any data. Now if you want, you can also insert this particular row into the last row by writing equal to ent. It will get inserted at the last row. So it will be under, see, this is under the last row. So this is how you can insert at whatever position. If you give it the value equal to 1, it will get inserted here. That means between 0 and 1. I'm going to use 1 here. So in this way, you can select the position at which your row is inserted. Now this is inserted on the 0, 1 position. This will be 0. John Doe 0 will be 0. This is the first position, which is equal to index equal to 1, this one. So in this way, you can insert your row wherever you want it. Now in this example, we will learn how to insert multiple records or rows into our table using a single function. So for that, we have to use a function called as data table dot insert underscore rows. The earlier one was just insert underscore row. We have an extra s here, so we have to provide the values. So I have created this value called as rows underscore inserted. It is a list containing tuples of records or rows that we want to insert into our table. So this is this one. So here we have a variable called as rows underscore inserted. So this will contain all the rows or records that we want to insert into a specific table. So this is basically a list. You can see that square bracket here and here containing tuples. Records are actually passed on to the list as tuples, and it contains the name, age, and the corresponding email address. So this is the rows which we will be inserting into our table. So this is our table, and we will be inserting data into this one. As you can see, there is not much data in here, just that usual John Doe stuff. 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4 is there. So we'll insert this particular data, that is the name, Ethan, Ava Richardson, Ethan Murphy, etc. into this particular table. So we will go and insert it right now. So we'll call this particular function data underscore table dot insert underscore rows, and then we will pass the index equal to 0. That means that we will be inserting all this data into the first row, and then we have to give something called as row data equal to the name of this particular list. So earlier we used to give this as values. Now it is actually row data. So this is the one we will be inserting, and then we have to call the data table dot load underscore table underscore data. This is to refresh the table, so that the new data is displayed on the table. So I'll run the code again. Now as you can see that the Eva Richardson is inserted into the first the first row. Then Ethan Murphy, Isabella Hayes, like that. And the other one, that was the John Doe series, which was present in the first iteration, are all pushed down. So this is how we insert multiple rows into the table. Now we have inserted the rows at the beginning first. Now you can also insert the same rows at the end of the table also. So by changing the index equal to 0, you can change it to index equal to, and then it will be inserted at the end of the table. I will run this code and you can see that. So here you can see that the John Doe series, that is the John Doe 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, they are all on the top, while the Eva Richardson, that has been inserted into the table from bottom up. You can see Eva Richardson at the bottom, then Ethan Murphy, like that. So by using index equal to end, you can insert the rows at the end also. You can also use index equal to 2 or 3, or if you want to insert it in the middle of somewhere also. Now we'll learn how to delete the rows from the table. So for that, you have to use the name of the data table, that is this one, followed by the delete row. So we have to give the delete underscore function. So you have to provide the index here. So you can do the index equal to 0. That means that the first row will be deleted. So I will show you the first row before running this program. So I have deleted the other Eva charts and others. So there will only be John Doe 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, like that. So this is the table, and we will be deleting the first value, that will be this one. So I'll remove this comment and then I will run this one. So John Doe 0 will be gone. As you can see that John Doe 0 is gone. So this is how you delete the rows. So for deleting the last row, you can't actually use index equal to end because this particular function does not support it. So you'll have to give the specific integer. Also, you also don't have to call the dot load underscore table underscore data function also. If you don't want to delete the data row by row, you can also delete the data from the entire table using the data underscore table dot unload underscore table underscore data function that is available with the Tableview class. So if you run this program, if you run this function, it will completely delete all the data that is present inside your table. Without this function, it will show all these data. But if I run this code by uncommenting this one, the whole data will be dropped. So if I run this, nothing will be there. See, there is nothing there. If you comment this particular line, the data will be back. So this function could be used to purge the entire table. Now it's back because we have uncommented the unload underscore table underscore data function. Now we are going to create a simple app. It will have a table and 3 buttons. One button is for adding a record into the table, another for deleting a particular record from the table, and a third to purge the whole table of all the data. So for that, we have to create 3 buttons. So we'll call it as ttk.button. So the first one will be add button. So ttk.button, and we'll call the text equal to add. Then we'll create a command equal to add underscore row underscore table. So this button will add a single row into the table. So we'll create one more. This will be a delete button. So this will delete a single row, and the other will be a purge button, which will just delete the whole table. So this will be purge. Now we have to create a callback function. So when we click on this particular button, we want to execute the particular commands. So for that, we have to go here and we will use def. So we need to add a row. So we'll create a variable called row underscore add, which is equal to. So we'll just add some name and then an email address. So every time we are pressing the add button, this particular value will be added into the table. So we have to give the name of our table, that is the data table, and dot insert underscore row. So we have to give the index equal to 0 values, that is the row that we are going to add will be this one. So once you have added the row, you need to call the load table underscore data function so that the table get refreshed and the added data is shown to the user. So we will use the data table dot. Then we have to create, now we have to create a button to delete the data. So we have to use def, it will be this one, del underscore row underscore table. Now I'm providing the index equal to 0. That means it will delete from the first row. Now I will also add another one, that will be def. So we have to purge the whole table. So it will be called purge underscore table. So this function would completely remove all data from the table. So you can come here and we'll take this one. So if you run this program, it will completely remove all the data. So we have to pack the button. This is the table, these are the buttons. Now we are going to press the add button. You can see that Rohit is getting added again and again. You can also delete the Rohit like this one. You can also use the purge button to completely delete the whole data. See? So now our app is complete and we have all the add and delete buttons and everything inside this. But the table actually looks a little bit bare bones. So you can use the theming of the TTK Bootstrap to make it look really nice. So for example, I'm going to add the search bar and other stuff. So you can go here. So here you can add searchable equal to true. So you'll get a search bar. And then we will have something called as boot style. So this will give a good looking theme to this one. I will use the success. So I'll run this one. So it began to change the color of the theme. Now you can make the alternate rows with the different colors by using the stripe color parameter. So that will be this one, stripe color, then none. So alternate lines will be color coded. So we are also going to make the table a little bit bigger. So it will expand on both X and Y axis. And we'll also make the expand section equal to yes. So we have expand equal to, I will run it. Yeah, we have to define the colors first. So you go here, run it again. You can also change the size of the window. So we can so this looks kind of okay. So you can also theme the buttons if you want to. You can use the same boot style. So now this is green. So you can change it to danger for the other two. So this is how you create a table using Tkinter and TTK Bootstrap library. So if you have any issues, you can put that in the comment section. I will try to answer that one. And you can find all the code from the GitHub repo. The link for the GitHub repo is in the description of this particular video. And if you like our tutorial, please do like and comment. This would help a lot. And you can also check out our website. The link is in the description. So thank you for watching this particular video.